Are you prepared for a medical emergency? It can happen at any time, and we need to make sure we are ready. Welcome to Homestead Corner. I'm Ginny, and today I want to talk about being prepared for medical emergencies and why antibiotics matter when we need them. We need to make sure that we're prepared for all kinds of situations, whether it is grid down, storms, winter is coming, we may not have access to medical help, things like that. We really need to pay attention to these things and make sure we're ready for them. So today I wanted to talk about why antibiotics matter in our preparedness. It really is so important because we can definitely get infections at any time. Things can happen. We know that just from everyday life, things that go on. But in a disaster situation or types of emergencies, it can be a lot easier to get infections because we're not able to keep as clean or we don't have access to certain things. And make sure that we are preparing ourselves for those types of situations. So the first thing that I always think of is lack of medical access. During the pandemic, I didn't have a doctor for 4.5 years. We could not get a doctor. There just wasn't enough around here. And with, mandated the pokes and things like that, it was very scarce to be able to get to the doctor. So having medical access can definitely be one of those things that we want to be aware of. And not everybody is able to get to the doctor right away. In some situations, the hospital may be completely shut down. So making sure we're ready for that is super important. During emergency situations, we also risk lots of infections because we're going to be working more, doing more things. Different types of situations will have us doing different things, and we can definitely get hurt a lot easier, and that's another reason to be on top of our medical prep. Sometimes we're going out and taking trips and things like that, and if we're in a different area, we may not be able to get the medical help that we need. So having antibiotics with us can again be super helpful if we're not able to get that medical help because we're in a different area. There may not be medical help around. We have gone on a lot of trips that are way off and desolate, and we couldn't get to medical help for quite some time, hours and hours of driving. And if you're out hiking and things like that, disaster can happen when you're out there. Another thing that can happen, and I have had happen to myself, is delays in the supply chain. When the supply chain was all clogged up, things were all messed up with the supply chain. They're still not perfect. We still have issues, and it can happen again at any moment. And we need to remember that. One of my medicines that I take on a regular basis, I was not able to get it, and they kept switching it to different kinds over and over, all these different brands and things to, just get through because it wasn't accessible at the time. So if we're stocking up on antibiotics and making sure we have them for emergencies, I think it's super important to learn what each antibiotic is for. Having them, you don't want to take the wrong antibiotic and have it not work or cause some other kind of issue. Taking too much antibiotics can definitely cause your body not to react to them properly, and we want to make sure that we're using them right. So knowing which ones are for which is super important. This kit is today I've got the basic kit from Ozio Medical, and it has all sorts of stuff in it. You're going to get 11 different medications in there. They're not all antibiotics, but there are quite a few in here, and it's going to be different for each person because when you go through the process of ordering antibiotics from Ozio Medical, you have to put in, like, if you have any allergies, anything like that. So you may not get the same exact antibiotics as everybody else, or you may not get the same medications depending on what your need is. And you have to list all your medications that you take, so the doctor that reviews your file before you get your prescription can make sure that there's not going to be any weird interactions or anything like that. So you're still working with a doctor, but it's all online and it is so simple and easy to do. And you can get these antibiotics and medications that you need for emergency situations for a pretty affordable price, really. It seems like a lot all at once, but you get quite a lot of medication. So it really, if you break it down by prescription, it really is not that expensive. It's pretty affordable, and you can be prepared when that emergency happens. So in the medication kit that I got personally, there is different stuff for infections, bacterial, viral, all kinds of stuff like that. There's also things for diarrhea, which can be a huge problem. In an emergency situation, a lot of times we are changing our diet. And if you have a huge diet change, you can have diarrhea, constipation, all sorts of problems. So you want to make sure you've got stuff for that as well. There are some antihistamines in here. There is all sorts of stuff for bacterial infections, mucus relief, parasite infections, anti-inflammatories. There's all different sorts of stuff in here that can really help you in those emergency situations. And this kit comes with a 219-page booklet, which I think is really wonderful because it really goes through the process. It explains each of the medications. There are also little charts that you can use to help you figure out which medication is right for what symptoms you have. So you're not just taking a shot in the dark. You have got the information right in front of you. It has all the side effect information, all that stuff, and it really is super helpful. So I think this kit from Ozio Medical is really a great item to have when you can do the online prescriptions and have them ahead and make sure you're ready for those emergencies is so important. So we want to make sure we've got this stuff and we want to take care of it properly. Making sure you're taking care of the medications so they're going to last the longest in a cool, dark area. Just like your food storage, you want to keep it in a nice, cool, dark, dry climate. Keeping them airtight is another great way to go. If you are not using them right now, vacuum sealing the bottles right into a bag to help hold all the air out is going to make your prescriptions last longer, the antibiotics, everything. So if you're interested in getting one of these Ozio medical kits with all of the antibiotics and different medications that can help you in emergencies, there is a link in the description down below, and you can use my code Ginny to get a discount as well. So you can grab those up and have them for those emergency situations. There's just so many different types of situations that we could use antibiotics. So learning about these medications and having them on hand when we need them can be an absolute lifesaver. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.